In this speech, I'm going to discuss the homeless population in America and what causes people to become homeless. Tonight I want to discuss what causes a person to become homeless, can homelessness be eradicated, and how homelessness affects all races and ages. America is experiencing a crisis that a lot of people may not be aware of, and that is the rise of homelessness in America. Reagan, during his presidency, addressed the homeless population in America. He felt that it was an epidemic and that homelessness had nothing to do with people being mentally ill. He felt that the homeless population was just like you and me. To that I disagree, in that a large majority of homeless people do indeed suffer from some form of mental illness or drug addiction. During the era of Reagan, there were several federal and local programs to assist the homeless population. Reagan, during his administration, did away with those programs. As a result, you see homeless people just wandering around businesses and neighborhoods. If you live nearby a city, you have probably seen a homeless person and possibly an entire family. Some of them ask you for spare change as you pass them by, or simply sat on the ground holding up a cup. If you're like me, you throw a few coins in your cups and go on about your life. My excuse not to do anything about this is probably the same excuse that most people use. And it goes like this. What can I possibly do that would help these people? Well, to answer that question, quite a lot. By volunteering your time and resources to a facility that offers assistance to this population. Impress upon your elected city officials that programs need to be implemented to assist homeless people with jobs and a place to live. These people need our help, not our scorn. I live in the city of Roseville, California, next door to a city park, and around the corner from the Center for the Homeless. What I have experienced firsthand is the amount of homeless people I see in the park, in my neighborhood, and hanging out in the center. Some of the people I observe clearly have mental issues, and others are addicted to illegal substances. But what I find most interesting is the fact that these people are being bused into my neighborhood by the center. And once they arrive at the center, they fan out into the neighborhoods populating the park next door to my home. How is this helpful to the homeless and the residents in the community who are afraid to enjoy the park due to the homeless population? To bring this fear of the homelessness into perspective, a young man I had seen several times walking on the street in front of my house physically assaulted a young child. Clearly the man is suffering from mental issues, yet he is allowed to roam the streets at peril to unknowing residents of the neighborhood until it's too late. As in the instance of a homeless person striking that child in her face and not really knowing what he had done due to his mental illness. This type of homeless population puts people at risk. Now let's talk about how people become homeless, the way homelessness affects families. Situations that create homelessness are caused by a variety of different situations, such as working a minimum wage job, drug addiction, mental illness are all causes that contribute to the homelessness. Effects of minimum wage jobs are not being able to afford decent housing or being able to properly feed and clothe your family. Children of homeless families are often ridiculed due to not wearing clean clothes to school or smelling badly because they have nowhere to bathe, or they may even come to school hungry or sleepy due to not having a home of their own.
Yes.
How homelessness affects children? It affects them in many ways, both physical and psychological. They are often ridiculed by other students and sometimes even shunned. People do not choose to become homeless, at least in most cases. It generally occurs as a result of a series of events all occurring at the same time, such as job loss, illness, or injury to the main breadwinner of the family. And is a situation that is occurring in substantial numbers for this day and age. Homelessness, it affects and touches all aspects of society. A breakdown of demographics, it affects men, women, and children, old, young, rich, and poor. In other words, homelessness does not discriminate. Veterans who are homeless due to having mental illness as a result of being in combat and seeing death all around them, or becoming addicted to drugs to fight their demons. How many homeless vets sleep on the streets at night? Who really knows? As I said before, homelessness is a scourge on our society and is not exclusive to any one race. It can and does affect without discrimination to sex, race, age. And as a nation, we need to address this problem as it does affect us all. How can society work to end homelessness in America? Be a volunteer in your community, be an advocate for the homeless, donate time and money, educate others to the plight of the homeless. As a nation, we need to address the plight of the homeless population, which is a problem that affects all Americans, especially since there are so many young children that as a result of their parents being homeless, they too are homeless and have a very hard time. America is one of the wealthiest countries in this world, and we can do better than this to assist the homeless, and we are currently doing. Today I'm asking each and every one of you to reach deep within yourselves and ask what it is you can do to help the homeless. As you lay your children down each night in the comfort and security of your home in their warm beds, there are families who are hunkered down in vacant lots, alleys, a doorway, or just on the street. My fellow Americans, I say to you all, we are too good for this and need to reach out to help our fellow Americans to get back on their feet and off the streets. Because tomorrow, the next homeless person just might be you. Thank you all for taking the time to listen. Now let's get out there and help someone. Thank you.
Okay.
How many videos on the street